Hello and welcome to this month's edition of What's Cooking Rutland. I'm Bethany Yon. I'm a nutritionist at the Vermont Department of Health and part of Rutland's Nutrition Coalition that brings you this show each month. And here we are approaching the latter part of summer. It kind of feels like it's flown by, but it's August, and so that means we need to be talking about moms and breastfeeding because World Breastfeeding Week happens the first week in August. So we're going to zoom back and invite who I've got on the show with me here. We've got Ashley Godzik, who's one of our WIC Nutritionists at the Vermont Department of Health as well, and our breastfeeding guru go-to, right, in the office. So World Breastfeeding Week, which we'll talk about at some point a little bit more. So we want to be chatting about, and you guys remember Ashley because we've had Jack on in the past talking about babies' first foods, and Jack is now well beyond those.
Oh yeah, he's 2.5, eating everything.
So instead of baby's first foods, we're actually going to talk about before you have that baby. So healthy pregnancy. So a healthy pregnancy and what's good, what should you be thinking about when eating during a pregnancy. So that's our focus today. So we also then have Brittany Collett, who's back. Yay, hi. Vermont Foodbank blogger extraordinaire and fabulous with a knife. Her cutting skills and garnishing skills like blow me out of the water.
Thank you.
And mom of 3.
Yes.
So we have a lot of fun things to share with you in terms of thinking about healthy pregnancy. And so I think we can share that, so Jack is well beyond that, but Jack's expecting a sibling. So we have one mom who's in the midst of being pregnant and needs to thinking about what she's eating for a healthy pregnancy, not having kids at the moment, but has been there, done that, and just thinking about just in health in general. So we're going to focus in on those healthy foods. We're really going to focus in on folic acid. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes once we start cooking. But folic acid is our theme. So recipes that we're going to feature that are good sources of folic acid. We have a spinach black bean enchilada that Brittany's going to kick us off with whole wheat enchiladas and tortillas. And then Ashley has a brown rice orange salad. So all these ingredients are going to make sense in a few moments. And then I'm going to close with one of my favorites, another spin on overnight oatmeal. You just can't have it enough. So I'm going to do a little bit of mine that again feeds right into this whole topic of a healthy pregnancy. So, because these enchiladas have to get into the oven, Brittany, it is yours. So tell us about what you've got over there and what you're making.
So we're gonna make spinach and black bean enchiladas. So we have spinach and black beans. We're gonna add some herbs to add to the folic acid. Leafy greens are great for that, and spinach. We have the black beans for some protein, and we have cheese for the calcium. So we're just gonna chop these up and mix them all together.
That's great. So we've got a recipe that really kind of sort of incorporates everything. So why is folic acid important? Like, why are we even talking about folic acid?
So folic acid helps prevent a couple major birth defects. So what we look for in the folic acid is to help with brain and spine defects. So it helps to prevent those major defects during pregnancy.
And so this is something that actually most moms or any woman of childbearing age really should be thinking about having folic acid before you're pregnant, since most moms don't know that they're pregnant until they're a month or two in, and at that point some of that critical development is already
going on.
Yeah, it's already taken. So
quick,
anybody should be taking folic acid, ideally in some sort of supplement, or in this list of awesome folic acid foods that Brittany has, shared.
Yes.
So all of these foods that we're cooking, so the whole grains, the greens, this is where the oranges are coming in. So citric kinds of foods, citrus foods are great sources. And so those become those critical things that you just want to be eating, ahead of time, but then certainly during pregnancy as well. Are you just like not blown away?
Don't zoom in on my cutting skills.
I know. So any cutting skills, we can really focus on what Brittany's doing because she has got this. You're so good. And I know
Thank
it's like,
you.
do not look at my cutting skills at all. It's like put us totally to shame. So these are, beautiful green onions that you've mixed together with. Then you're making the filling, right?
Yes.
So for this enchiladas, so the spinach, and we used frozen chopped spinach.
Yes.
That thawed and really squeezed, right?
Yes. You gotta squeeze it out because the ice like sticks to it and it's just so watery.
Yeah, it'd be so watery.
You don't want soggy enchiladas.
Exactly, soggy, soupy enchiladas. So you could, if you're in, right now we're filming this at the end of July, so August isn't necessarily prime spinach growing season in Vermont. It's gotten a little too hot for spinach, but later on in the fall, spinach will be fresh again, and you certainly could go ahead and use your own and chop it, and you could just add it raw to this, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Just do that.
Yeah, we'll cook right in the oven when you put them in.
Yeah, that would work really well. So, you're welcome to do that. But at the same time, frozen veggies are a great option. So a lot of these foods, the other nice piece of this is that they're WIC foods, right? Yep. So Ashley, talk about what we've got going on for WIC foods. Oh gosh, beautiful. Look at that great color. The yellow, the green, the beans, it's fabulous.
It smells super delicious too.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, so in this recipe here, cheese, you'll be able to buy the cheese on the WIC card, and then the beans, the corn, the spinach, because you can get fresh, canned, or frozen fruits and veggies. So, and then also, when thinking about wrapping the enchilada, the wraps also are something you can purchase on the WIC card.
Yeah, so pretty
whole
much.
Grain,
yeah,
wheat.
whole grain. They're whole wheat tortillas. You could use corn as well if you wanted to.
Yes.
So yeah, pretty much this entire recipe is a WIC eligible recipe. The cheese, we didn't shred it on camera because it's kind of sort of boring, but you can't buy shredded cheese.
Yes.
So you have to shred your own. So tell us what you're doing here. I am not a very good enchilada wrapping girl, so hopefully you are. You're totally on the spot here, Brittany.
Thank you. So we're just adding the mixture of all the fresh, delicious vegetables and herbs.
Bring this around so it's right next to you.
Thank you.
Right.
And then we'll just add some cheese. Oh, dropping things. And then get a spoon. I'm gonna add a little bit of the enchilada sauce.
We cheated. We purchased this enchilada sauce, but you could actually make your own using tomato paste and seasoning and diluting with water. So you really can make your own if you want to control what's in it. Have you made your own? You're looking at me.
I have.
Of course, Bethany. Like what?
Make my own sauce, my own everything.
So how do you make your own enchilada sauce?
So you chop the tomatoes, you boil them in, and then you add some special herbs, cilantro, whatever you want in it. You add a little lemon, a little lime, and you just mix it together and boil it down so it's nice and liquidy.
Yeah, so totally should have done that, but that we wouldn't have gotten them in the oven on time, so we're cheating here, but this was great. So look at you. All right, I need to see this again because you wrap that so beautifully. I know mine usually fall apart. So tell me your tricks as you're doing this for holding them together.
Will do. So gotta fill it again. So when you're folding it together, it's really important that you just fold the two ends in first and then you roll it onto itself. So just fold the two ends in.
Fold the two ends.
Roll it on, push the extra.
Okay, I just saw that little push
and
to squeeze
roll,
it in and
then
roll it nice,
put the bottom down.
Perfect. She says with a smile.
This is why we gave the enchiladas to her.
Because I know, but I think my tendency whenever I've done anything that requires wrapping is I just put too much stuff in it.
Yes.
You were really using great restraint there, so
you have to make sure
can get away with.
If you put too much, also when it cooks down, all the vegetables will get watery.
Yeah, and then they fall all over the place,
and you don't want that.
A great big mess. So, okay, all right. Restraint in how much goes in, because I know that that's typically my tendency. So I'm just, so you've got maybe a half-ish cup or so of veggies in there.
Sprinkle some cheese and sauce. And then just wrap it.
Oh my gosh.
It's really simple, actually. It's really easy. The kids would like doing this as well. I would definitely
now I'm
have
really
my
embarrassed
kids
because I'm thinking if I did them, I know what they're going to look like if the kids are doing them. Oh my
They
gosh.
might need help with the wrapping.
They might need help with the wrapping.
But you can let them mix up all the vegetables. My kids love to stir the food for me.
Yeah, and remind us
sprinkle
how
the
old are your kiddos?
cheese.
So what age is this kiddo friendly?
My youngest is going to be 2 soon, and then I have a 5 and 6-year-old who would love to join. The younger one, she would throw the cheese everywhere probably.
Okay, yeah, so she's maybe not quite ready to be actually assembling these things. So look at these. These are beautiful. I'm so excited. They're just, and you're just like boom, 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 just going to it. And for me, I would be taking the entire show, filling and wrapping these enchiladas.
Really, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. So.
Notice I'm just letting Brittany do this, and I am not getting my fingers in there because I know what kind of mess it would be. So I'm not being a brave person here. So cool. So once these are all stacked in, are we going to put will anything go on top? Oh, though we'll see that. So
if you want to put cheese and sauce on top, you could, but it might make it soggy.
Okay.
There's already inside of it, so you don't necessarily have to add it to the top. But it depends on who it is.
Yeah, and
what you want, yeah.
Okay.
If you don't mind it a little extra cheesy and soggy.
Then there you go. So we're great, awesome. We're gonna so we filled a pan. We obviously have room. You've had these so beautifully neat, they could even go along the side. But the pan is full, so we're gonna toss them in the oven, and it's about 20-ish minutes. We'll see if we can get them out right towards the end of the show to take a peek and then, you know, Brittany's garnishing skills because
Thank
they're so
you.
great. But again, so many great ingredients here that are super for healthy pregnancy. So into the oven they go.
And they're also great for breastfeeding.
What's that?
They're also all great for breastfeeding.
They are. So let's talk a little bit about breastfeeding since World Breastfeeding Week is happening while we throw together this next salad. So we have an brown rice orange salad, and again, those great foods.
Yes, I have a list of foods that are really good.
Yeah, so you tell us your list, and Ashley, I'll let you get started.
So when you're pregnant and breastfeeding, it's very important to get the proper vitamins and nutrition. So iron, folic acid, calcium, healthy fats and proteins are very important in those to help the baby develop properly. Calcium helps with bones and the teeth development, and good sources of calcium are kale, milk, cheese, yogurt, dairy, almonds and greens. And then for iron, pumpkin seeds, quinoa, nuts, broccoli, lentils, red meat, turkey, dried fruit are really great for that. Folic acid, a lot of leafy vegetables like we have today, parsley, kale, spinach, Brussels sprouts, broccoli. Those are all really great for it. And then healthy fats are very important for the baby's brain development. So salmon, peanut oil, olive oil, those are very important. You can do whole milk, yogurt, and like cottage cheese is very, very good for the baby's brain, both after pregnancy and before. And then for proteins, you have eggs, beans, cheese, nuts, meat, peanut butter, all of those things. They all kind of come together. They have everything you need in them. So it's great.
Important. So so many of the foods that you listed are sitting in this kitchen right now.
It's really easy. You can just grow them yourself during the summer.
Can. So with the enchiladas, there were the whole grains, there was the calcium in the cheese that went in, the black beans, and then Ashley, what have you got going on? Protein with the beans. What have you got going on with this brown rice salad?
All right, before I'd prepped 2 cups of the quick cooking brown rice, so we have that in the bowl right now. I just chopped up half a cup of celery, and now I'm going to cut up the scallions.
So so the brown rice, I think a lot of people are often terrified of brown rice because they think it's going to take hours to cook or a full hour to cook, which if you're using traditional brown rice, indeed. But some of these quick brown rice, how long did that one take for you to boil up?
10 minutes, altogether it was 10 minutes boiling and simmering everything.
So really, really quick, so it can fit into your busy family schedule and just work out really well. And brown rice is typically fortified, so it's a whole grain, so you're going to see things like folic acid in brown rice versus some of the other grains that you're working with.
Right. One thing that my kids have trouble with brown rice is the texture. It's not soft, it's a little crunchy, so just cook it a little longer if your kids don't like it crunchy.
Good point.
They seem to not mind or even notice once it's soft enough.
Enough. That's great. And I think then also, I don't know, hiding, and I hate hiding foods from kids, but sometimes you kind of do what you have to do.
Yes.
So if you mix a bunch of other things with it, so like this salad, that you then may not necessarily, it's not maybe quite as
Yeah, I think we made a brown rice salad in one of our earlier shows.
We probably did.
And they loved that. They loved it. Lots of fruit in it.
Yep, super.
Vegetables.
And this will have, so because the citrus kinds of fruits are great for a source of folic acid, then that is why we're going to be putting some oranges in this rice salad, as well as we were chatting earlier, those high iron foods that are important both pregnancy as well as breastfeeding afterwards. When you have a non-meat source of iron, so things like spinach, then your body adding something that has vitamin C, so your citrus fruits help to make that iron more available. So otherwise it doesn't absorb really well.
So like strawberries, oranges.
Yep, oranges, lemons. So what else have you got going on in this salad?
So now I'm measuring out a 1/4 cup of any kind of dried fruit. This happens to be dried fruit or dried berries, so we will add that in. So add some sweetness there. And then we'll add a 1/4 cup of, I'm going to do almonds. It's just some chopped nut.
Talk to us about World Breastfeeding Week, Ashley, because it's like right around the corner.
Yeah, so it's the 1st through the 7th of August. It's that first week there. And every year they come up with a slogan that they like to share with us. And this year it's Empower Parents, Enable Breastfeeding. So really just, they had chose this to be inclusive of all types of parents in today's world, and really understanding that to enable breastfeeding, you really need support from others and your family members and your partner. So, so really just empowering the parents is what's going to help you hopefully become a successful breastfeeder. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
And what's happening in Rutland County during the month of August to support moms with breastfeeding?
So as always, we'll be at the Vermont State Fair. The dates of that this year is August 13th through the 17th, so it's a Tuesday through Saturday. We set up an infant comfort station in the President's Building, so it's like a pop-up tent. We have a fan going, so it's a nice cool place. We have some nice rocking chairs. You can just sit and relax and feed your baby, so something to...
I think that sounds great.
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
It's uncomfortable. Some people make it very uncomfortable, so it's nice to have a safe area to go and breastfeed your babies or your toddlers.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to worry about eyes staring at you and judging.
Yep. It's an important thing.
Yeah, and then on Saturday, the first Saturday, so I believe that's the 3rd, from 11 to 1 at the Rutland Regional Medical Center at the loop that they have there. We're going to do a World Breastfeeding Walk from 11 to 1. So come join us if you can to help promote breastfeeding.
That's great. So what time was that again? So at the Loop on Saturday, the first Saturday in August, which is the 3rd.
Yep, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
11 a.m. to 1. Can you just come in at any time during that 2-hour period?
Anytime. Bring your kids, bring your partner, bring whoever.
Awesome. So shout out to all of my fellow 100 miles and 100-day walkers. What a nice reason to then get your mile in there in the midst of some really fun company. So yeah, I'm going to try and get there. So, all right, back to the recipe. We've been yik-yakking, and so mandarin oranges went in there, dried fruit went in there, nuts went in there.
Now we're
and
gonna
now
add some liquids here to make some sort of a dressing. So I did some rice vinegar, and then I'll do some olive oil here.
Yeah. And if your family wants something more sweet as opposed to the little tang, then you could use orange juice if you wanted to, but I kind of thought with the mandarin oranges and the juice
nice
that we
and
just have a
sweet.
little like something
All the
else
berries in there.
Yeah, really do a
Balance
nice
it out
job.
nice.
So again, because we're perfect timing, talk about the WIC code was about where I was about to go. Because we're talking about all these WIC eligible foods, so this is a second nutrition ed activity. So if you are watching the program and are part of the WIC program, or know folks who are, send them to the program online and call your local WIC office with that code on the screen, WIC Collett 2019. That's a mouthful. Perhaps just share a recipe that you might want to try, and that keeps foods going for another
3 months.
3 months.
Yes.
So that interim activity. And again, so many of the foods. So I'm thinking about in this rice salad, the brown rice was a WIC eligible food, the
mandarin
oranges, the celery, the scallions.
Yep.
So really most of the foods there are WIC foods. So to keep that benefit going, just let them know you watch the show and that gets it going, and hopefully you'll try some of these things at home as well. This looks great. This looks really, really good. I know. We're going to transfer that over to a bowl.
That was a very pretty dish.
Thank you.
And while you're doing that, Ashley, I am just like sliding some things over
Do what you
to
need
go
to
to
do.
my favorite overnight oatmeal. Oh my gosh, totally one of my favorite kinds of things. So we're gonna put the already done one aside. And so on go glasses so I can see what I'm doing here. So this is a Chia Orange Yogurt kind of thing. So they're not even calling it overnight oatmeal, but that's indeed what this is. So you all kind of sort of know what overnight oatmeal is about. Oatmeal, milk, yogurt, and then whatever else you want to have go into that for flavor. So for this, to get to folic acid, we're going citrus. So we have some orange in this as well. So really those are the basics. So I'm going to start with some fat-free milk. And this isn't quite this recipe doesn't necessarily call for quite the 1-1-1 ratio that I usually do, which is, you know, 1 equal scoop of milk, yogurt, and oatmeal. It's like 1/3 of a cup of this, 1/4 of a cup of that. So we've got 1/3 of a cup of milk. We're gonna throw in, and I was getting ready to throw it into the cereal bowl. Switch out, Bethany, yikes-a-mikes-a. Can I do this one-handed? Ashley, help me out here. Good planning, there we go. So I do not have all those fancy schmancy jars at home for actually doing my doing overnight oatmeal, so I just kind of sort of use whatever containers I have. So here I'm just using a container that has a good seal that I'll then stir it all up to put it aside. So we have the milk, and then I've got old-fashioned oats. I'm gonna do 1/4 of a cup of that is gonna get mixed in. And then Greek yogurt, you can use any yogurt, but the nice thing about Greek yogurt, we were talking about nutrients of concern, and so it's higher in protein, than regular yogurt. So, and it's also thicker, so you'll have more body to the oatmeal when you're done. So I'm spilling it everywhere. And because this is orange, it actually is kind of weird, and I think you can decide what you want to do with this one. It actually calls for a little bit of marmalade, which I think is going to add both a little tang, some texture, as well as a little bit of sweetness. So we're going to throw in about a tablespoon of a marmalade. And I think I can say thank you, Mom and Dad, for sending me oranges from Florida, because that's our marmalade came in a box of fruit from Florida once upon a time. And then we're going to add a little vanilla, about 1/2 teaspoon, not measuring. And then I think chia seeds. What do we know about chia seeds other than like they're crazy popular? Do we know anything about these things?
Omega-3s, right?
Ah, thank you. Ta-da! As I put the nutritionist on a spot, who am I? So a couple of teaspoons of chia seeds, and the nice thing about these guys is that when they sit overnight, they're going to absorb that fluid, and so they're not going to be crunchy, and they'll have really almost like a little gelatinous coating on the outside, so they're going to help to thicken things up, and they also become a great source of fiber. And then for oranges, you really have some choices. So you could go ahead and add some cut mandarin oranges, or actually work with a regular orange. So,
want me to peel it?
Yes, please. The experts over there are going to peel and cut. I'm going to cut a few segments of the mandarin orange and add that to it. I don't want to add too much of the juice because otherwise it's going to be too wet. But I think adding even some chunks of fresh orange, like big orange, is going to be fun to this. So when you get to a couple of segments, Brittany, I'll take a couple of segments and add them in. So it's about 1/3 of a cup of fruit that goes into it. Oh, she's cutting for me. I love it.
Smells so fresh.
Does it smell really good?
And your parents send these fresh from Florida?
No, these are not from Florida. It is not Florida. It is not orange season yet. So this, because I don't have a good jar for giving a good shake, I'm just going to give it a really good stir. Making a really good mess here at the same time. And then put a lid on it, quite literally, and then into the refrigerator overnight. And so, voila, 24 hours have passed. So my jar from home, my bowl from home, is then this really nice thickened up, so everything you can see. It's kind of sort of hard to see that the chia seeds have really helped to absorb and they've gotten a little thicker, but you can see that it has
like
way
tapioca.
more texture. Yeah, more tapioca. Thank you, foodie, for the right words here that are escaping me. So I'm going to spoon this into a bowl, and then I'm going to pass it to the garnisher extraordinaire on the other side of the kitchen, because we have some fresh mint that came out of Brittany's garden that I have it tucked over here. I should have left some over there. And we could even add some more orange to this, because you know, there's just like, can't possibly have too much fruit when you're looking at this, and oh my gosh, it looks so good. I even want to add slivered almonds to it. So really, you can add whatever you want to these great recipes.
I think slivers of almond would be great.
Wouldn't slivered almonds be like really, really fabulous? I know. I'm looking at them. I'm looking at the bag here from the orange rice salad and thinking, some almonds tossed on top of that's going to be really yummy. So we've got garnishing. While we're doing that, I'm going to check these enchiladas. Oh, they look nice and brown. So I'm going to.
Where do you want us?
I'm going to slide it here because, you know, this is Brittany land here. So this is a hot dish. So just be careful, my friend.
Nice and crisp.
So, oh, look at this. So beautiful. So gorgeous. So we have, and the mint smells so good, so good. So we have this beautiful brown rice orange salad. We have the overnight oatmeal, so that has oranges in it as well. Vitamin C, citric acid. And so what do we now need to do with these enchiladas to finish them up for serving? So they've baked, and now what?
Now we can pour the rest of the sauce and cheese on it on your plate, so when it's nice and hot, so that it will melt onto it.
All right, so ready. I'm just gonna slide the messy board forward, give you a plate, and you need something probably to scoop.
I am good. Thank you.
Yikes, it makes a tough hand. So so drizzling some of that enchilada sauce on top, a little bit more cheese. Oh, so beautiful. I'm so excited.
If I can reach them.
That's the cilantro that you're throwing on. Cilantro is one of those love-hate things, you know? So if your family member is not a cilantro fan,
It's a strong flavor.
It's a strong flavor, and for some people, they say it tastes like soap. So if it's not your thing, go with parsley
Chop
instead.
it small.
Well, I think for some people, like any cilantro, like stay out of the room kind of thing. Don't go near it.
Even the smell is very strong.
Yeah, it does. But I personally love it. So, wow, we came, we conquered. We have so many amazing foods here that are great for expecting moms, moms who might be thinking about expecting, breastfeeding moms. So all of these foods that are really, really going to just help keep you healthy and keep that baby healthy, both before that baby's born and your kiddos afterwards when you're still breastfeeding them. So thanks everybody for joining us. Anything else? Any final words of wisdom that we want to share here?
Don't give up just because it's painful. It's good for the baby.
There we go. Yeah.
It's the hardest part.
Truly. And if you have questions about breastfeeding, you can call our office, right? What number would folks call?
I would do just the main line, so do the 786-5811 option 2.
Yeah, so if you ever questions about breastfeeding, give us a call, and we've got Ashley and others who are there to help. So thanks everybody. I need to get a plate, and I don't even know where to start because this all looks really, really good. And we'll see you next month. Donna Hunt is going to be back for September, and we'll be thinking about back to school kinds of themes. So when you're in a rush now, sorry I said back to school, but August is kind of sort of not just breastfeeding, but back to school as well. So, you know, getting your family out the door in the morning with breakfast, how the heck do you do that? So we're going to try and problem solve that with you. So thanks everybody, and I need to get myself a bowl or a plate. So yum, this looks really, really good.